Okay, I'm having to do a bit more organizing now with these downbeat magazines. There's so many of them. They're all listed, but I've decided instead of flicking through every single one, I'm gonna go by decade. So 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. And there's all these to go in there. And then all these are all downbeat as well. And then I just listed some more today. So, as if by magic, I wish it was that easy, but there they are. I've had to move a whole other pile of 70s and 80s as well. Apparently that's the most popular decade. Yeah, I've not mixed in the ones that I did today because I'm trying to pick out the ones that sold over the last couple of days. So obviously the ones that I took pictures of today won't have sold yet, so there's no point in making it trickier. But 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and not many 2000s. But yeah, just obviously the very best way to organize these is to put them, like split these up now by 71, 72, 73 and put them in month order. But I feel like at some point you can spend too much time organizing and then a whole bunch sell right away and you kind of wasted your time. But when it gets to be this many of a magazine, then that's definitely the time when you have to start splitting them up into a different system. And then who knows, in a few months time there might be almost none of these left. So but yeah, that's helpful for now. So I'll pull out the ones that sold. Okay, I instantly changed my mind. As soon as I started looking for 1970s magazine, I right away decided just to organize them. So all the 70s ones, I've just put them on the front of the table for now, but 79, 78, 76, 75, etc. So now, if I need one from 1973, the stack is much smaller. And future me is going to be thankful to me that I took the time to do that. Sorry to keep harping on about the same person or the same Hollywood celebrity over and over again, but anytime now my eyes see this word, technocracy, or is it technocracy? I don't know. Technocracy? I don't even know how to say it, but it catches my attention every time now. There's a lecture invitation here. And who's it addressed to? The one and only Mr. Leslie Nielsen. 1945. This must have been a really pivotal time in his life where he was trying to choose between a career in technocracy or as a hilarious Hollywood superstar. And I think he made the right choice. Here's a blast from the past. For anyone in my age range, which is 24 to 28, then you might remember sending someone a postcard. And I think people have been doing this for a long time, ever since vacations were invented.
Broad humor with broader scenes, or a view you can mark with a cross.
But this one is a bit more interesting. It's got this hole in the middle. It's got this lovely picture on it, and if you look closely, it's indented with a record or an LP that's built in. So you must be able to play this on a record player. And I'm imagining these guys are what is going to come out. It's not grooved all the way to the middle. Well, maybe it is, but the outside just looks like maybe the place where the sound comes from. But it'd be really interesting to see this on a record player. Let me know if you've ever seen one before. So Jamie just got a 3D printer. We're testing it out with a couple of trial runs. But I was thinking this would be so useful for things like if you've lost a single board game piece or any little plastic attachment there's so many things you can print with this thing. It's gonna be really cool. And there's a lot of blueprints available online. This one kind of looks like a bracelet, but it's a fidget cube, which is, or an infinity cube. It's a bit like a Rubik's cube with 4 squares, and you can just flip them over and over again. He's doing this for his entrepreneur fair, so just thought I'd showcase that a little bit. I'm gonna buy some filament as well, just in case I need to print anything, you know. The other day I was trying to hold my phone at a specific angle to take pictures and couldn't quite get it, so this just lets you make any customized thing that you want. It's really cool. The Ender 3, if anyone's interested. Okay, this is a bit of a roundabout way of listing these, but I'm trying to take a photo of the front and the back of all of this sheet music, and sometimes the inside as well, if it says the year inside. So I set up this tripod to take photos, but then I found it a bit awkward to keep clicking on the screen. Like, I just want to keep my arms down, so I've hooked up a Bluetooth keyboard to the phone, and then there's a keyboard shortcut which lets me take the picture. So whatever works, I guess. But yeah, now I can put the item down, click the keyboard, flip the item over, click the keyboard again, and move on to the next one without having to move the camera or touch the phone. So it just saves a bit of time. This thing, this Kimmick thing, that is a Bluetooth phone holder, but it's self-leveling, so it runs out of battery after a while, and it is always trying to keep the phone level, which is not actually what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to keep the phone in exactly the same position, and then I put the corner of the sheet music. I've got my camera set to square mode, and then I put the corner of the sheet music right there, and then it's because they're all kind of the same height, then it's working well to fit right within the picture. And for anyone who's interested in that, if you're doing the same thing, the keyboard shortcut is the volume up button. I had to Google that because I thought enter or spacebar might be to take the picture, but it's volume up. Yeah, so at the moment I've moved on to larger items, and there's a few boxes of newspapers where they've been kept flat, which is really nice because if anyone's a collector, then they'll like that it's not been folded in half. But the problem is it costs more to ship it that way. If it's folded in half, it could go as letter mail quite a lot of the time if it's a thin newspaper, but with these ones we have to cut a piece of a box to support it and keep it flat and waterproof it. So I've put these rulers down beside the table so I can quickly just see how big it's going to be, and then I've got my shipping settings ready to calculate the package costs for the customer. And my plan is just to list any flat newspapers like this for now as packages, and if people are put off by the packaging costs, that's okay. But if there's some lower priced newspapers that don't sell after a while, then I might end up getting the thin ones and folding them in half and switching those to letter mail, which I usually just put as free post because it costs, you know, $3 to $5 or something like that. So I usually just build that into the price of the item. So yeah, we'll see how these go. There's some pretty cool headlines, you know, Princess Diana and Elvis and things like that, the Beatles. We found a really good Muhammad Ali magazine yesterday that was pretty much as big as a newspaper, and it got voted as one of the top 10 magazine covers of all time, so that was an expensive one, thankfully. And yeah, we'll see if I find any cool headlines, I'll let you know.